like the captain started screaming at me. I started screaming back, and then the captain said, I don't know, there was probably like a good 10 minutes of screaming, and finally like the captain just ended it and said, you're going, like, you're at 6 days restriction, 2.5 months pay, reduction in rate. Get the fuck out of my wardroom. I left the next day. Trust me, did not go well. That was a terrible.
Yeah, no hard thinking. Olympic-sized swimming pools, bar with strippers. Blah 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 humors.
You know what? I'm going in the air. Fuck this. I'm done pushing for this team.
Is now frying cause they are gonna buff Greedo.
They're gonna buff Greedo? No, nerf. I'm like, not nerf, buff him, nerf him. I don't know what the nerf is.
My bad. Bad. Buff.
Rebel ship annihilated.
I'm actually glad my first Captain's Mask ended the way it did, because I was at the point of like already losing my shit. The one thing that didn't make any sense to me, I understand that he's the Cobb, but the reason I was going to Captain's Mask was because of him. Probably not the best idea to have him up in my face screaming after getting punched once already. I really don't know what their whole thought process was when they thought maybe we should include the Cobb, the guy who he got in a fight with, in his Captain's Mask. They could have easily replaced him with somebody else. Nice, Wagadodo. They could have easily replaced the Cobb with like one of the other senior chiefs, but no. They decided to make him the guy in charge of my Captain's Mask, and it just went to shit. I was mad. I was already angry with his bullshit. And then that Camo just was the icing on the cake that finally tipped it.
Yeah, that whole event sounds like a blah blah blah. Show deep.
And like they didn't even do like what I found out, they didn't even do everything that they were supposed to do. Like normally they're supposed to do a big investigation. They're supposed to tell you all the bullshit. Like my understanding of my Captain's Mask, the way it went down, like the next day. But like they gave me like no, like they're supposed to do an investigation for your Captain's Mask. Like they're supposed to explain all the details, what you did wrong, and all this nonsense. Literally, I got walked into a room, got talked to a chief for like 5 seconds. He made me sign some forms, and the next thing I know, I'm in my dress whites going to the Captain's Mask, and like. And they had all these fucking new guys lined up. They were gonna set me up as an example to all the new guys and what not to do.
We are losing a control.
And that thankfully failed. Cause that like as soon as it turned into that disaster, like it started to turn into, they made all the new guys leave. It was just crap. I'm like, when I went to the JAG about it, I got sent to the Squadron JAG by the TDIV chief, because like I told him everything that happened during my Captain's Mask, because he's supposed to talk to you before you join T Division, and he's like, go see the JAG. There's like a million things wrong with your Captain's Mask, and a million things wrong with with how this whole thing got handled. Like, I still had to do 6 days restriction, but I got my rank back, and I didn't have to pay them my 2.5 months pay, so. Good thing I did go actually talk to the TDIV chief and not just go into total rage mode and just say, fuck the Navy. That's what a lot of people do in TDIV. Like, the moment they get sent to TDIV, a lot of guys just quit.
You can't handle the truth, LOL.
Like, most guys, when they get sent to TDIV, they just quit and they go total fuck you, fuck the Navy, fuck everybody, and they don't care no more. I got lucky.
They will your means too.
They're gonna nerf Meme's turret? Oh, that sucks. His turret's ridiculous.
Still, you haven't said hello to me, disappointing LOL.
Hey, Martin C, I'm sorry. Did you say hello in chat? I don't know if you did or not. I ain't gonna lie, I'm really thankful for that T-Div Chief. I'm really thankful for that T-Div Chief. If I hadn't talked to that T-Div Chief, I probably would have went 100% rage mode and went disgruntled sailor and just said fuck the Navy, but that T-Div Chief helped me out. I was like one of the first chiefs that really helped me out. He told me there was like a billion things wrong with the Dallas, and I shouldn't be fucking discouraged because of what the Dallas said to me. Okay, just first. Yeah, I remember what you said. Like, if I hadn't talked to that chief, and that chief hadn't, like, walked me through the whole, like, legal process, I probably would have quit.
But I think it's neat because it's so easy.
They are taking over a control point. Move to intercept.
Like, here's the thing, for anyone that's, if you're still in the Navy, counseling chits are not supposed to be used as punishment. It's used as training. Most of the time it ends up getting turned into punishment, but that's not how they're used. They're supposed to be used for training. To give you an example of one of my stupid bullshit counseling chits, I showed up, I think I showed up late, like, it was like my first time showing up late, and my chief was a dick. I hated him. And he made me stay until 12 o'clock for 3 days in a row. Turns out, hey, you can't actually, you can't make a guy stay past 10 o'clock unless you got the, like, I think it's actually past 5 o'clock without the captain's permission, as punishment. Because what he gave me was an artificial restriction, which the only one authorized to give restriction is the captain. So, so once I handed over my counseling chits to this chief and he started going through all, this is how I found out, like, a lot of the shit that I was going through wasn't even legal in the first place. Like, as soon as, like, I handed my counseling chits to the T-Div chief, he started going through, like, this one they can't do, this one they can't do, this isn't even legal, it's hazing. I'm like, oh my god. He's like, yeah, this is just one of those fucking things. They're not going to tell you that they're doing something wrong, and they're going to make you do it. It's just the Dallas. I ended up finding, like,
our chief was awesome. You screw up, it's contour paper.
It's just one of those things. It was just the Dallas. That's what it was. It wasn't even the Navy. It was just that ship was complete crap. It was not a place you should start out on if you want to join the submarine force. Not a ship you should be starting out on. Thankfully, it's decommissioned, or it's getting decommissioned soon. So hopefully they get rid of that crew entirely. I don't know if, like, ships like the Dallas are a common thing or something, but
just kidding.
They're gonna buff the pulse. I don't think there's gonna be that many ships like the Dallas, but I don't know. I've heard about the USS Missouri. It's a new Virginia class ship, and they're already calling that ship the USS Misery. So I don't know. I think that whole. She's on her last patrol. Oh. I'm thankful I'm not on that ship. I know what it's like. Screw that place.
We have discovered the Jedi Skywalker is nearby.
You want to know? You want to hear one of the funny stories? Actually, now I think about it. I've told this one before. This is an example of how messed up the Dallas was. So the first day I step on board the Miami, my first class is talking to me. He's trying to get to know me and whatnot. So we walk to the galley, and we're getting something that, like, we have, like, lunch isn't ready and whatnot. But he tells me to get ice cream, and the entire time I'm just staring at him like he's gonna do something stupid, and like he doesn't understand. I'm so used to the Dallas being all fucked up. So like he tells me to get the ice cream. I'm getting the ice cream. I'm sitting there. We sit at the table. I still haven't touched it. He's like, "Go ahead and eat it." I'm like still staring at him like the weirdo. I eat it a little bit, just like a little tiny spoonful. I'm still watching him I'm like this ice cream bowl is gonna disappear in a second. And he's like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" I'm like, "How come you have not grabbed my ice cream bowl and like smashed it against the floor or some stupid shit like that? How come I haven't found jalapeno sauce or something retarded? Why has none of this happened yet?" I feel like this is gonna be like the good old switcheroo. You're making me feel nice, and then like 5 seconds later you're gonna do something stupid. And he's like, "What the fuck ship were you on?" And I'm like, "The Dallas." And he goes, "Oh, that explains half of it." Like, that's how fucked up the Dallas was. I didn't even trust my own first class not to fuck with me.
We got rebels in the area.
And he's like, "Yeah, like, get rid of everything you thought about, like, with the Dallas, and just, it's not gonna happen like that."
No, that's insane.
Yeah, I was just like, I didn't even trust my own first class when he's like asking me to get ice cream. He's like, my first class was awesome. I actually enjoyed him. I ended up getting a LDO. My first class on the Miami was great. The second one, he dodged the fleet for 17 years. I don't know how. I really don't. I still scratch. Like he only told us a little bit of details on how he managed to stay on shore duty for 17 years, and he knew nothing. Like his last ship he was on was like a Washington class. That's how old, how long he hasn't been on board a submarine forever.
Luke Skywalker
Like he knew nothing about radio.
The Emperor wants Skywalker defeated.
He wasn't a bad guy, it's just he did not have any knowledge on how radio operated or worked. He knew ESM.
I read in some oddball Star Wars forums, Nadia, people are saying that Lando is getting an R2 unit for his special, Just for Go.
Ah.
Have you Star Wars Force Awakens already looked?
I don't know what the heck Mahari is trying to say or ask. My first class, actually both of them made chief. The other one, I'm like, man, he made chief, he got sent to another ship. I'm hoping and praying he learned something. Cause man, he knows nothing about radio.
And 5 deaths. That would be cool, Wildcat bit.
An R2 unit where you can just drop a droid? That would be insane. I remember what it was. He got some short command. You know how the Beebs, you know about how they have to calibrate the ESM system? That's what he got sent to. He got sent to the command that has to calibrate the ESM systems.
I know, I would use him for sure.
And he managed, the whole reason he managed to keep Sin on shore duty was because he let himself be overseas deployed to fix the ESM systems on board ships.
We need to gain control of
And
this
that's
area.
why he managed to get
Capture
counted
and hold
as
as
sea
many of the
duty,
control
even though
points
he's
as you
still
can.
sitting on the shore. That's what he did. I'm like, it took me that long. I'm like, what the fuck did he do? It's been like 5 years since I've been on board a ship, so it's like I'm trying to remember what the hell he did. And that's what he did. I don't know what command it was called, but I remember that's what their job was to come on board the ships and calibrate them above noise.
Got to go.
Defend the
Look
control
forward to
point.
flying with you
Imperials are
again.
taking it
Alright,
over.
later, Debt
Bye,
Collector.
us.
Hey, Errol's.
Lost the track